Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Fantasy Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Fantasy Lorenzo.
Have a good one.
You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
You guys know they used to use this as a test ground for A-bombs?
Where is everybody?
Hello!
Keep your eyes open. You hear something? What is it?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of the sequel to the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, which is called The Hills Have Eyes 2, and it came out in 2007.
Took her in there.
This just turned into a search and rescue mission.
How many do you think there are?
Too many.
They need the women to breed.
So yeah, I did my review of the, or not the original film, but the the remake some time ago. I also did a review on the original films, I meant to say, before that, so check those out. So yeah, my feelings towards the remake, I thought it was fine, I didn't think it was amazing or great necessarily, but I thought it was fine for a remake. It's definitely one of the more decent horror remakes out there. Kind of I won't say shot for shot, but just very, very reminiscent of the original film in the 70s. This one isn't quite as close to the original second film, even though the second film was never as widely regarded as the first. I personally didn't mind it too much. But with this one, I don't know, I didn't think it was as good as the first. By that I mean the remake. I didn't think it had as good of a cast of actors in this, because in the first one we had Aaron Stanford, who I like quite a bit, from his work on Nikita, and I thought he did a pretty good job with the material given in the Hills Have Eyes remake. This one, I don't know, just dwindled for me. It's more fun, it's more sort of streamlined, I guess, in a way. And what I mean by that is, like I said, the first one is very reminiscent of the first, and I tried to capture some of that eeriness of the original film, which didn't fully work. And they added some violence and action type scenes and stuff like that to I think appeal to more modern audiences instead of building it completely around the feel of everything. Which was fine. I still thought it did alright on that end. But this one, I don't know. It just went for a more, it just felt more generic somehow, I guess, which is odd because Wes Craven actually wrote the screenplay, or he worked on the story and everything, which must mean he either liked the remake and he wanted to, get his hands on it, more directly, or he hated it, so he wanted to make it better. I don't know. But chances are he probably liked it a little bit, so he was fine. I think getting his name, tagged onto it. Of course, Wes Craven, he's one of the greatest horror legends of all time. Rest in peace, sir. But this movie I didn't particularly care for. I mean, there's some fun elements to it, but I guess what I didn't care for the most was the story, or at least how it ended up being executed. At first, I kind of liked the premise. It could be kind of intense. We have these military trainees, or these newer recruits, in the desert for sort of a mission to build themselves up, and of course they're tormented and sought after by the cannibals or mutants in the hills, and that's pretty much it. So at first that premise sounds kind of good because, okay, they'll be trained to actually be capable and able to defend themselves and stuff like that, but they're not. And they sort of explain that in the story. I mean, they are new, and they're sort of established right away from the beginning, even before anything happens, to be kind of reckless and not really the most intelligent troops you'll ever see. So they do have an excuse, I guess, to kind of be stupid, I guess. Except there's a sergeant, who's, the leader, their ranking official taking him out there. But he's, he's killed pretty early on by accidental fire, so they pretty much killed the only one who could, do anything. So the rest of the group would be put in worse situations. Again, that kind of oddly made sense. But for me, the story just felt like something you would see of like a direct-to-DVD sequel, or like a sci-fi channel concept, I guess. And not fully ragging on sci-fi either, because they have done some really good stuff. But just like the premise of it reminds me of like a sci-fi original movie sequel they would do, or something like that. I don't know. And the actors they had, they were all right. I mean, I've seen dollar actors, I guess, but none of them really had much to them. They were all either dicks 1 minute or hotheads one second, and then I don't know. So there wasn't really anyone to care about. I did kind of like Jessica Strope, who is our main sort of female lead in this one. She's been on Iron Fist lately, and The Following, I see. But yeah, so she was alright, and there's a couple other guys like Eric Edelstein, and let's see, and then he also had Daniela Alonso, who I sort of seen before too. Alright, well, okay, she was in an episode of iZombie, so there's that. But yeah, anyway, so the cast was alright. They could have been more boring, I guess. But it all felt like just set up for more violence, and I think Wes Craven and the others probably seen that, so he added even more, sort of violence and action in this one. And it looks good. I mean, I like the coloring with the desert and everything again, and there are some decent kills and deaths in this movie. And makeup-wise, a lot of the mutants or cannibals do look fairly good. Like, for example, you have Michael Bailey Smith returning as Papa Hades, who played the version of Pluto in the remake. This time, though, he's sort of the leader, I guess, of this particular group of them. And he looked, fairly good, a little kind of Frankenstein-like built. I didn't mind him. I thought he looked alright. And then who I was particularly looking forward to was Derek Mears, of course, as this chameleon cannibal. At first, he was really cool. I mean, you see his look right there. Just when he first picks off Danielle Lorenzo's character. He does look kind of creepy with his eye and just sort of staring off. He's sort of mysterious and everything, but quickly he sort of just turns into like another bumbling sort of mutant moron, I guess. They all end up running the same way. It's kind of weird. They kind of turned him into more of like a cluster instead of more standing out. That's another thing. I think they stood out more in the remake and the original films than they did in this one. They felt more, again, like individuals. And although I liked his design at first, when you see more of him, it did end up looking a little bit silly. I mean, it's kind of cool, with him taking on different parts of the environment and stuff as far as mutation. But in certain shots, it just didn't look quite right. Sorry about the noise, guys. Facebook notifications. Anyway. I swear I had a picture. Another picture loaded here. Give me a second, if at all possible. Okay. I swear I did, but I guess not. Quick second here. Alright. Okay, I did. I just put it under a weird kind of file name for some reason. That's kind of odd. Alright. And one character I was almost kind of particularly interested in. Okay, now I can't find it again. That's great. Alright, yeah. Okay, there's this mutant or cannibal called Hansel, played by David Reynolds. I haven't seen him in anything before, but who he is playing, though, Hansel, I actually thought was kind of interesting. I actually think he is the best looking of the cannibals in this movie. And it's kind of cool at first because, you see, he actually tries to help the survivors, Amber and the others get away, tries to lead them down the right path and, way out, sort of discreetly. It seems like he's a little more sort of, like outcasted from the group, or, maybe he's one that's actually sort of retaining, some of who he was as a person, and he just knows that what they're doing here isn't right because there's a lot of concentration on breathing in this movie. A little uncomfortable, for sure. But there's only like one major scene of it, and then after that, it's kind of it. Although the opening, I think, was a bit much, honestly, with the pregnant woman. You'll just see what I mean at the beginning. But, I found Hansel kind of intriguing. And he does lead him to a way out until one of the hotheads acts like an idiot and blows up the dynamite. And Hansel, he just didn't want any more of that, and he disappears afterward. And I found that odd because when the rest of the survivors were fighting Papa Hades, I thought Hansel was going to come out and try and attack him too, and try to get the survivors the advantage, even if he got killed somehow. I don't know. But I just thought it was interesting, like one of them not just being a mindless, sort of killing machine type thing. But we didn't see. I don't think we see enough of Hansel in this. I guess he's still alive, but it's kind of sad that they didn't include more of him or kind of build on the different psyche of this creature or this person that they had. So yeah, more Hansel, probably a slightly higher grade for me. They sort of leave the ending tad ambiguous because they do manage to kill Papa Hades in a pretty decent, final fight. But then, of course, they see, you see someone else watching on their, military equipment back there, and then they say the trainees are still missing, so apparently they didn't make it out, because there's always more of them, and the hills still have eyes. So yeah, overall, I guess this wasn't a bad movie. There were parts that I had fun with. But I gotta say, my attention just wasn't there like it was with the remake and then the two original films. I feel bad whenever I do this when I'm watching a show or a movie, but I was looking at my phone and I just wasn't that interested for a lot of it, unfortunately, and that's because of characters, like I said earlier. And just sort of the premise, or it just sort of reminded me of something kind of cheap, you know, for follow-up. So I don't know. I don't know what else I would have done with it, but so yeah, overall I'm giving it a C, C minus. I could probably keep it at a C maybe, but definitely no higher. Some things I liked about it, but others just kind of fell flat. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.